is over here, you're going to be able to follow along with unexpected.com. Something unexpected is happening, and that is unexpected.com is up for an expired auction, and it is ending right now in last minute bidding. The auction, as we talk about each week, bids in the last 5 minutes extend the auction. So this auction was supposed to be done 10 minutes before this live stream, but it's continuing on. So we're going to follow along over here, and yeah, let's see what happens. So yeah, okay. I may or may not be possibly in the auction at the same time, but because we're talking kind of expensive stuff, I don't necessarily want to tell folks one way or the other. So usually, as you know, I am upfront about that kind of thing, but not today. Okay, well, this is Domain to Profit. I am Drew Wash, and here on Domain to Profit, we look at expiring domain names and talk about, well, businesses that can be used on them. So since we have about 5 minutes left on unexpected.com, this domain auction that is over here, I want to just kind of dive into that at the beginning of the show, and we'll kind of, as that wrap up, deal with some of the basics or some of the normal stuff that we talk about, or maybe we'll get an extended auction and then we can, roll the credits and things. So while this auction is going on, I just want to mention a couple things. So let me share out my screens. Well, I'll share this here in one moment, this screen that you're looking at. That is Reddit. Unexpected is one of the top categories, top rooms on Reddit. So Unexpected, and you'll see over here, 6.4 million people are part of that community that follow that. So just one of the reasons why that's a really interesting domain name, unexpected.com. See many applications for insurance, protect against the unexpected, right? So insurance being a big one, anything medical related, same kind of thing. So business-wise, what we talk here on Domain to Profit, the idea of turning a domain name, that valuable internet real estate, into some kind of development, well, you might find that unexpected.com would be a great domain name for that. But it does fall into that brandable type domain name that we talk about, which is not usually something I go for. But if I can get it for value, then we'll see what happens. So a little more research. This is one of the things that we see as we look through domain names. Unexpected, 25 exact searches, 25,000 exact searches for this one. But one of the things that we talk about each week, and we'll see this as we look at more expired domain names here shortly, you'll see that the cost per click, there's really no money behind it. I mean, what would somebody really advertise for under unexpected? Then advertisers, there's one in theory. So there's really not a whole lot happening, meaning no one's looking for exactly whatever it is that's on unexpected. It's unexpected what you'll find on that domain name. So it's going to have to be defined by somebody, and that is where a brandable domain name type is. So brandable means you create what you want on that domain name versus a domain name like towing.com, where you expect to find towing companies on it. Make sense? Okay. So I just want to look at that. As you can see, unexpected.com continuing on. I feel like I'm breaking weather coverage. So it was a little bit unexpected that unexpected.com showed up in the auction list. I did not see it last week on the show, and I was a little disappointed by that. I thought that it would have been one of the ones that I would have wanted to mention. I don't believe I mentioned it or saw it. So one of the things I wanted to do, and just wanted to mention this to you, is I want to update the filters that we use just slightly to include this here. The number of days, hopefully you can see that above my head here. We used to have this set to only look at auctions ending in 7 days. But because unexpected.com ended today, that is 7 days from last month or last week, it didn't show up. So I'm going ahead and changing that to 8 days. So we'll have more domains that show up on our list, but hopefully it will happen. So hopefully we won't have great domain names like that kind of sneak through like they did this week. So this is the list that we have. You can find the filters over on domaintoprofit.com/filters, I believe. That is where you'll find the video that show you the filters that we use. We get rid of hyphens, get rid of numbers. We only look at .com, English words, 1 to 3 words in the next 8 days of expiring auctions. That brings us to 97,000 domain names that are going to be expiring and going up for auction right now, ending in the next 8 days. So by the time next show comes around, these will all be gone, which is why you and all need to watch Domain to Profit live. Expiring auctions are always coming up and around. And as you can see up above, well, that's not actually updating. Update. There we go. Voice commands. So, well, with that, I'm going to take a moment to say hi. I'm Drew Walsh. This is Domain to Profit. Now that we have 4 minutes in this auction, we can do this. See you on the other side. Make sure you said hi in the chat, like, subscribe. We'll get back to normal broadcast just after this.
From domain to profit, from a dot to domain to profit, we'll show you how. Domain to profit, from domain to profit. Join Drew Walsh and get started right now.
All righty. Well, hello, everyone. Kind of a crazy start to the show, but I see lots of people popping in here, which I very much appreciate, y'all. Let me see. What do we got here from Arizona? We got several popping. Arizona. I didn't know you were from Arizona. That's great. Bill, hello, welcome, and then Lee as well. Nice to have you. Let's find those domains indeed, because this is a treasure hunt. We are going treasure hunting for great domain names right here. Over up to 21,000. I have a feeling it's going to go much higher, but who knows? We'll find out. Hello, Michael, as well from Phoenix. Couple Arizona. I guess Arizona needs to be like an Arizona Viewers Club, maybe? Or not. Okay. Well, let's hop back over here. I'm not sure if that's going to keep updating or not. I hope it does. I'm on the GoDaddy countdown clock. So what are some of the things that I can answer about what is going on with, we can learn a lot, I believe, from what you see on the screen with this auction here, unexpected.com. Some of the things, if you're not familiar with expired domain name auctions, this one is from GoDaddy Auctions, so auctions.godaddy.com. Domain name, somebody registered at one point in the past. That domain name expired, so whatever reason, they didn't renew it. That domain name goes through a period of time where only that person can renew it, even though the domain name's expired. After that point, it goes into a auction. It's like a lightning round. Whoever wants it can get it, and you have to be the top bidder. So that is what's happening currently with unexpected.com. And when you're in those auctions, in most cases, auction places, I'm not sure, 100% sure if GoDaddy is one of them or not, you typically have to have up to a certain amount. They'll let almost anyone bid. I think it's like $3,000 or so. Most places will let you bid just pretty much on a credit card. After that point, if you want to go above a certain threshold, you have to have went through some kind of approval process. Basically, it's a really basic, you just have to show that you're a real person. Lower amounts, they don't really worry about it too terribly much. But when it comes into the auctions, you'll find that the last few, the more expensive ones, they want to make sure it's a real person. So you may have to go through a validation or a verification process showing that either have access to funds or in some way won't just leave that domain name hanging without paying. So in cases like this, like if you wanted to bid on unexpected.com, I'm not sure if you even can if you're just now watching this for the first time. You had to have probably went through an approval process. I don't even remember if I went through that process or not. I've just been bidding so long that I believe I have. So feel free to let me know if GoDaddy does not have an approval process, but I believe they do. And then usually after the auction. So say you win an auction. In most cases, credit card is just boom, goes right onto the credit card afterwards. And then a lot of places when you do an expired auction at some threshold, you have to do either a wire transfer or some kind of verified funds to make sure that you don't do some kind of chargeback or something after you get the domain name. But GoDaddy still even has protections beyond that. So say you got the domain name, you used a credit card, there's a lockdown period. When you get a domain name from an expired auction, there's actually I believe a 60-day lockdown period. It can vary a little bit depending on which registrar you're using, registrar being the place you get your domain names, like GoDaddy. That lockdown period, you cannot move that domain name. So let's say you did want to do a chargeback, that domain name is locked. You're not going to be able to move it out or anything like that. So that process would fail. It's there to protect GoDaddy and registrars. So there you go. Let me see, just checking in on the auction. It looks like it's current, 5 minutes left in that $23,000. We can do one of two things. We can talk about unexpected.com. Why is unexpected.com going? Why is it a $23,000 domain name or more versus some of the other domain names we're going to look at today, which will likely be much less, which if you don't want to bid on 5-figure domain names, there's plenty of other domain names out there for you. You certainly can do that. So, and also one other thing, I'm all jumping around. I'm in Pompano Beach, Florida right now. You might see this isn't a green screen. This is like legit. It's beautiful behind me. I'm inside right now, and outside would be much better. So there's that. I would love to be outside. I'm just not there yet. I will be after this, certainly. I'm sure I'll be walking many, many miles up and down the streets because that's what I do. I do a lot of walking and thinking and so on. With all that said, we will follow along with unexpected.com, but I want to go here, expireddomains.net. This is where we spend most of our times, and we already have our filters set up, as we showed just a little bit ago. And here on expireddomains.net, it's a free site. Yours will look different. You'll have to set up a free account to be able to use this. Once you do, you can save searches. You can do all kinds of different stuff. And the beauty of it is it doesn't cost you anything. This is a free site, which we're going to use. And you'll see right here on top the domains that we have. We want to first go over and check the valuation. And we want to just make sure that we're ordered by this column here, the valuation. Does that mean that's what it's worth? It's called valuation. Does that mean it's what it's worth? No, that's not what it's worth. That is just what what GoDaddy just kind of made that number up. So that is what we use. We use that one. The valuation, we just order by it. Think of it as kind of a GoDaddy's guess at, based on past data, which domain names are most valuable. Don't think of it as a specific amount that a domain name is worth. Instead, it is an amount that just rates it versus other domain names that are available at the time. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up in all the stuff about, appraisals and all those things, which I do get questions about that pretty frequently, which is, how can you appraise something? Ultimately, the appraisal is whatever somebody's willing to pay for the domain name, period. That's any given time. That is the appraisal. You can get guys like me. There's many other domain experts, people that have been in domains forever. You can get somebody to give you an appraisal, but the only appraisal that really matters is the one that will give you the money. Like, who's going to pay you for it? A lot of times, if I give an appraisal, it's just the amount that I would pay for that domain name. Me, myself, and I. What would I pay for that domain name? Not some fictional amount that some fictional person will pay for a domain name. So just kind of keep that in mind as you see valuations. It's all fictional numbers. That not like there's no magical person out there offering. I think what is it? Book It. Hey, that wasn't that the program from Pizza Hut back in the day? Well, Book It. Nobody is offering $25,000 for that domain name. That's an estimate of what the domain name's worth. Just a ballpark. You might go for significantly more, might go for significantly less. Unexpected.com, which I show is hanging out at just over $23,000. I personally still think that's quite low. If you think about what unexpected.com could be worth, even from the idea of a marketing campaign, one of the most expensive domain names that are out there was diamond.com. It was a 7-figure, multi-million-dollar domain name, and that domain name, what's more unexpected? That engagement ring or something. Unexpected.com. You can play with that. So, okay, I'm moving on from unexpected.com though, because we have lots of great domain names, including bookit.com. I think that's kind of a fun domain name. So let's see here. Now, as far as development-wise, probably not. But if you do remember, Bookit was that Pizza Hut program. And the reason why I'm just kind of guessing at that is look at these numbers over here. That means there's lots of backlinks. That's what this column is measuring. We don't talk about backlinks. We don't talk about backlinks much or anything like that because that's all Google stuff. We care about the domain name, that real estate, not necessarily what Google thinks of that real estate. But there is value in that. There's lots of links coming in, dealing with books, reading, pizza, all of it probably has some good search engine stuff. But what are you going to build on? I don't know. Wouldn't you much rather have organic life? Ooh, organic life. That sounds like it could be your brand for organic foods. Could be maybe a publication, a great blog name. Could you imagine if you had that as a blog, dealing with organic eating and things like that? But there we go. Clicked it, and just like sometimes, basically what happened was the auction started, but the person renewed it in that redemption period. That's essentially what this is referring to. So, peace out, organic life. We're moving on. Trade direct. Again, you'll see a bunch of links. The value in that, somebody's going to bid that up because of search engine optimization, not necessarily because of the domain name. I kind of like it, trade direct trade. I think I'd prefer direct trade. So Fushi, Active Directory. I'm sure who all, don't you mean Bookit? Yeah. One of the things you probably saw, Bookit, it shows up in here. So up here, you'll see it's proper cased, Bookit. You can go ahead and try to sell haunted house stuff, but it is Bookit because we're using this free tool. It's just guessing at the words. So Bookit is indeed 2 words. Book it is also 2 words, but that is what's essentially happening there. So, okay. See, I'm looking at, I love you guys in chat. I love it. Yeah, it's like Bookit, but Book It. Active Directory, I'm not sure if that would be considered trademarked. Active Directory is one of Microsoft's ways of handling permissions. It's a fun domain name. Not sure if I would buy it for anything other than tech reasons. As a Microsoft guy, I'm more familiar with it, but I don't know. Here we are. I'm in Florida. Betan. Is that a different word too? Could that be baton? No, not so much. Okay. Home tutoring. I like home tutoring. I wish tutoring.com is valuable, but home tutoring.com is especially good. So this one ends in 7 days. So it'll be ending before the show next Monday. This is one that we would not have had if I wouldn't have extended the range. So hometutoring.com, let's see what happens with this. Nowadays, I imagine all the tutoring happens through Zoom, right? Maybe not. So I am doing a copy and paste into SpyFu. That's the tool that I'm looking at right here. SpyFu.com, SpyFu.com is a tool that allows us to see the number of searches for keywords, similar keywords, questions that people are asking that contain the keyword, and it also shows us whether there's advertisers and how much they're paying per click to reach this keyword. So hometutoring.com. Only 90 searches exactly for it. Home tutor, so singular. I guess that makes sense. Tutoring would be, I like tutor, let's see here. So we'll talk about this a little bit. Hometutor.com is where it's at. 2,000 is what that one has. Can you target home tutor with the keywords home tutor? Those 2,000 keywords with home tutoring? Absolutely. In fact, it's questionable whether I don't know if I like home tutoring more than home tutor. It's a coin flip for me, mostly because home tutor is shorter. I hate to say it, but I do like how short that is. Now, home tutor, the thing about that domain name, though, is it splits its value. Home tutor splits its value with home tutors, plural. Make sense? So anytime you got a word that could be turned plural, singular, I a lot of times like the ing, the ing, the act of doing something versus. So here's some of the things we got. I like seeing near me, in-home tutors near me. That has some keyword volume. Very low, though. Home tutor near me. So if you did home tutoring near me, you could pick up a little bit of search engine traffic. But ultimately, what we're looking for is a little bit of this action down here. There's 6 advertisers that are paying over $5 per click to reach home tutoring as a keyword. So I like to have, you could probably say it with me as of this point, I like having advertisers in the double digits, but I do like cost per click to be $2 or more. So in this case, we're getting like a C+, B- for this one as far as money-wise. I would love to have higher keywords as well, but hey, so be it. You can take hometutoring.com and target many of these other keywords that you see in the middle. Look, chicagohometutor.com alone has 460 searches. So so we have home tutoring. So we have some basic volume. This middle column is going to be where you're going to find other keywords that you can possibly target on your domain name. And then this column right above my head here is where you can answer some of these questions. Where can families go for help if English is not the home language of tutoring around me? Or so? Basically, you can answer the questions that people are asking. These questions contain your domain name, the keywords of your domain name, so you can answer those questions, and that gives you the content to start your domain name, so you don't actually have to be an expert at home tutoring. I actually do like that one. Its price is $670. I can see that one going for $1,200 to $1,600 and still probably being worth it with those high cost per clicks. I would build it out as a directory, local search, find tutors near you, and or Zoom tutors nationwide. There's a lot that you can do with that domain name. So checking in on Unexpected, seeing where it is. It is updating. It's above me, over $25,000 for unexpected.com. I expect it to probably get 30,000 or more. It just is going to be slow and steady until it does. Just a hunch. I'm guessing it's probably worth about 30K. The question is are the bidders there to put it there? Okay, deep media, 0%. 0% is kind of in that marketing domains. It's one of the categories. Don't really talk about developing it very often, but just as I said, unexpected.com could be used as a marketing campaign for anything from diamonds to insurance. What's the unexpected.com? Anything when you're talking about a word that creates a marketing message possibly in somebody's head. Well, it could be used for a marketing campaign. Ideally, a giant company pays 6 figures, 7 figures for the domain name. 0% is one of them. How often do you see 0% financing at your car dealerships or at banks, electronic stores? 6 months, same as cash, 0% APR, all those things. So there you go. 0%.com could be that kind of domain name. Let's see what that's going for real quick. We don't talk a ton about, it's kind of going for quite a bit already. You can toss that into SpyFu, see if it's worth it, but I'm going to move on. Barbell.com, spelled wrong. I did check that before the show because I thought that was, if it would have been spelled right, I would have been like, woo, dollar bills, y'all. I just did that. Okay, that just happened. That's not me. That's not, okay. Art. I've been up since 5 a.m., so I might be a little tired. So you might get some fun Drew out of this. I like artdesigner.com. What's this? Dollar bills, y'all. Okay, Art Designer, $470. A lot of these are several $100s already, which is kind of interesting. Nobody's hiding the domain names today. So $470 ends in 4 days. Art Designer, it's kind of a redundant word. I don't know if there's such a thing as an art designer. Art designer, like, isn't art supposed to be about creativity and design is about bringing creative elements into a practical function? Or am I just out of my mind on that? When I think of designer, I think of somebody that's has a level of function into their art versus art, which could be, art. I mean, art could be anything, but design usually has a little bit of function. But let's check this out. We got 6 advertisers, around $1 per click. Not bad, not bad. 660 searches. So people are searching for art designer. I don't know what you would put on it. Maybe artists and designers. Art design. I'm not really sure, but people are paying for it. You can do a little more search if you went out to just kind of did a search for art designer. Isn't that the domain name? Art designer. Is it art design? Yeah, art designer. Okay. Where'd it go? Sorry, I'm all over the place. So here's some of the different advertisers that you'll find with it. You'll see some graphic design stuff, Upwork.com, that's like a Fiverr, or Guru.com, Design Crowd. Yeah, here you go, Fiverr. So it's basically they're just targeting words for people that do graphic design and things like that. So this would be what I would call a beachhead type domain name, a domain name that you would buy not because it's the best in the field, but it's good enough to give you access to that industry where you can start with that domain name. You have the authority and validation when you call somebody and say, hey, I'm with artdesigner.com. It sounds pretty good, gives you access to probably artists and graphic house type things, possibly even some consumers, gives you access to that industry, but you will likely want to move to a different domain name if you ever make it big. It's kind of more of a small business type domain name. Okay, Overdue. I mean, these are fun domains. Overdue. Where are we at on unexpected? Okay, it didn't update on my screen. Well, that's a bummer. But it did end. So if it updates, everybody's probably following along. I'm in the middle of a live show, so I didn't know. But unexpected.com did end. I show that the winning bid was $25,252. Congratulations to whoever got that. It was not me, which I think my wife is probably pleased that it was not me. But I was in there. So can't believe it went for $25,252. I thought for sure it'd go for $30. Okay, well, there we go. So let me remove that. I already did. Okay, unexpected's gone. Okay, back to the domain name. So there you go. That's pretty much how it goes. Domain names come, domain names go, and chances are unexpected.com will never be available again. Got in the hands of somebody that's going to love it and squeeze it and call it their own. Convertible cars. That just seems too, sometimes exact match domain names sound almost too generic, if that makes sense. Like convertible cars. Are there convertible cars? Yes. Would anybody ever say convertible cars? I don't know. I guess ultimately, if they type it into the search engines, that's probably more important than. Okay. See, this is why you check things out. 8,400 searches for convertible cars. Okay, and there's a lot more to learn here. So advertisers, not really much happening with the advertisers though, but we do see it's close to $2 cost per click, really low advertisers. Let's see what we can do with this though. We got 8,400 searches for convertible cars. Convertible car seat, again, it has our domain name in it. The only thing is you can see it takes it from convertible cars to convertible car seat. So it's going to make convertible cars seat would not be a good keyword to necessarily target. So I would not say I don't think you're going to be able to target that very well. Best convertible car seat, again, because it's taken that car to singular, it's really going to mess up your keywords. Now, this is what I like though. This is the money keyword. This is exactly why you would buy this domain name. 4,400 searches for your domain name, convertiblecars.com, convertible cars for sale near me, 4,400 searches. Now watch this. Now, convertible cars had one advertiser, no big deal, right? Let's go check out convertible cars for sale near me. Okay, there's 3 advertisers for 0. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. I'm actually really surprised that there's not. I thought I was about to be like whiz bang showing you something, but there's nobody there searching for it. Either way, I do love seeing these convertible car rentals near me, convertible car for sale near me. Those are what's going to really give this domain name value from a development standpoint. You're here for development. I want you to develop these domain names. These are for development. If you take this domain name, pay $1,000, pay $2,000, pay some amount of money for this domain name, and you develop it with a very basic site that performs the function that you would expect to find on the site. Convertiblecars.com. What do you expect to find on that domain name? What do you think others expect to find on it? They expect to find convertible cars for sale near them and convertible cars for rent near them. If you can target those 2 keywords with convertiblecars.com, as well as, allow people to show off their convertible cars or something, voila, you are going to have people coming to your site. You can go and do magazine ads or whatever else. You're going to have the authority and validation just from that domain name that will make people want to be involved if you are into convertible cars. Now, as you, possibly a domain investor or somebody just that stumbled across this random guy talking about domain names, you might be like, yeah, I'm not interested in convertible cars, because that's my instinct too. I don't really care about convertible cars. I didn't expect it to really have much, but when I typed it into SpyFu, that is when I saw that there's great keywords. There's lots of people looking for local convertible cars. There's these questions over here above me that give you content options. You answer those questions, provide content that allows you to show convertible cars for rent near you or for sale near you, and voila, some very basic functionality. Charge people $10 to post their car for sale for 90 days or something like that. Done. You program and work hard once, and now your website is there. And well, even if you spend a couple $1,000s on it, do you think you'll be able to make a couple $1,000s over a long enough period of time? Automate everything. Don't be in the customer service business. That's how you anyhow. I like convertible cars. I didn't like it, but then I saw the numbers and now I like it. So that one I do believe would probably be $1,200 or more. Probably because I'm probably going to take it up to 900 or so. Hammer down. Speaking of convertible cars, yeah, and I'm sure, yeah, convertibles. I would say convertibles. I like cars feels like a redundant word. It doesn't feel like it's necessary, but I could see like convertibles could. If you're a car person, you're going to think cars, but I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of convertible things. So yeah, I don't know. There's lots of different options with it, but convertible cars, there you go. Hammer down, put the hammer down. Isn't that a Thor thing? No, don't put the hammer down. My audition. So one of the things I often say when it comes to domain names is a lot of people will try to, let's say you wanted audition.com and it's not available and you're like, oh, just go get the audition because that's available. And I typically will just say, do not get domain names with the in front of it. In most cases, last week we had thegreatoutdoors.com. That was one of last week's domains. One of the rare exceptions where the at the beginning of a domain name adds value. I would actually probably prefer the Great Outdoors versus Great Outdoors. But in most cases, I steer people towards the word my, and you'll see that right here with myaudition.com. Why my? Well, a lot of times you'll see the word you, like you or your audition. The only thing is on the web, when you are at your laptop and you're at your computer, you're taking possession over this. This is a very intimate thing that you're doing when you're interacting with your laptop and interacting with a domain name. You don't type you. When you type you in a domain name, you're kind of sending it out into the world. It's leaving you versus my is like, hey, this is my audition. This is my website. This is my interaction with this website. So just from kind of a marketing preference, which marketing is my field, my is my preference in domain names. So my audition, my convertible cars, my whatever it is, I prefer my when it comes to adding a word to a domain name. Because audition.com, super expensive domain name. My audition, well, it's $333 currently over on GoDaddy Auctions, ends in 2 days. What could you build on it? I'm sure you could do like video monologues. You can, you know how actors and things, they do their headshots. Well, at some point, maybe they do videos and you can send out your My Audition link to different, whatever, film studios or something. I don't think that's how it works, but maybe it does. And you send out your myaudition.com link and it has your headshots, some video, basically your resume as a actor. There you go. That's my idea on it. More of a hobby more than anything else, but I'm guessing. I don't know how to make money. I don't know that industry well enough. I'm not going to even type it in because the word my will reduce keyword volume. Holistic solutions. I don't think there's going to be any. This might be one of those keywords that is blocked money-wise on Google. Basically, Google blocks certain keywords in different fields from profiting. Holistic solutions. So yeah, that's probably what's happening here. Maybe not. So if you're looking for holistic solutions, you're not going to find it in the paid ads on Google because holistic is going to be one of those words that they can't verify people's claims, so they just don't allow advertisers. Could be an interesting domain name, 180 searches, but you're going to have your work cut out for you. But you can get traffic in these kinds of things. You can show up in the natural search engine rankings. You just can't pay to advertise. Humpy sounds like the eighth dwarf. The eighth dwarf was Humpy. Makes sense to me. Busservice.com. What? There wasn't a dwarf. One of the seven dwarfs was not Humpy, right? No. That sounds like a dog on your leg. Oh, thank goodness it's 340 because I'm going downhill. Hopefully you're getting some entertainment value out of this, though. Yeah, sounds like the most annoying dwarf. It's the dwarf that just gets off you. Get off my leg, Humpy. You're always on my leg. Okay, busservice.com. Sounds like a really boring domain name to me. But there is ways that you can possibly profit from the idea of a generic with busservice.com. Let's see. Let's see what people search for. Like when I hear this, I'm thinking nonprofit type of domain name, people just looking for bus schedules. There's really no room for you because it's ran by government. Most bus services are ran by government. They don't have affiliate programs. They don't have referral programs. We all just have to deal with their system versus somebody actually coming along and doing a private, nice experience. But I will say that there's possibility to target this. I think we were in, where was that? Waikiki or something. We were in Hawaii, and they had trolleys. So they had these trolleys that ran around, and a lot of tourist destinations do. You could possibly kind of target that industry with like tourist bus service or something like that. Let's see, 89 cents per click, one advertiser. I'm not even sure who that is. Bus service near me. I mean, there's good volume. I'm just not sure how you'd make money. You'd have to do like a ton of work to get all their schedules and things up there. Anyhow, so I'm going to skip over on bus service. Great domain name, though. Currently $105, ends in 3 days over on GoDaddy. I don't know how you would develop it. Not even sure if it's really good for investment or not. And I love all the suggestions. I love all the input happening over in the chat. I see lots of people mentioning alternative ways that domain names can be used. I want to feature them all, but you should be watching this show live and be in the chat over on YouTube with others. And then, of course, you can join us over on community.dtp.com.tv. It's my one TV domain name. Let me put that link up real quick so that way you can see where we're hanging out. Boom. I'll leave that up there for a moment. That is where the community hangs out when we're not over on YouTube chat. So VIP Direct, I'm not really feeling it. I feel like so many domains toss VIP on it and is expected to be good. VIP Direct, maybe. I'm sure you can build a brand on it. Let's keep moving on. Link Project, same kind of thing. Like it sounds like it's something official, but not really feeling it. SkyCheck, a trademark. I'm not sure. To do a trademark search, uspto.gov, I believe. Just search for trademark search. And you can kind of toss it in there, get a bit of an idea. If you're going to spend big money, though, make sure you check out, get a lawyer if you want to really worry about the trademark. Now, as far as in the chat, though, SkyCheck could be a trademark. It doesn't say, it's not a generic term for something. Contina feels like that's probably one word, but Contina. Spring Sale, traditional food. Sounds like the dullest name ever. Traditional food. Why have good food when you could have traditional food? Audience targeting sounds like a marketing domain name, but those words are so long. Entry systems. I wonder if let's check this one out. And if you stuck with me this long, I will go over to my GoDaddy auction, show you some of the domain names that I've picked up over the last couple weeks. I don't believe I did that last week, so we got one or two. They showed up on my American Express, so yeah. Okay, here we go. Entry systems, 135 searches for it. Evaluation entry system. Not really seeing anything that really makes it all that exciting of a word, but this is why I was looking. Okay, so we have 7 Up, it's hidden behind our thing here. Let me go down a little bit more. Okay. So advertisers, there's 7 advertisers. So we're starting to get towards double digits, and we have over $2 per click. You know, I don't 100% know. I'm guessing this is home entry systems, commercial entry systems. So the key card systems, gate systems to enter your, a gate for your house or something. Different things like that you can put on this domain. Product directories, service, people that install them. All of that could be on entrysystems.com. And then when you call those companies, they're like, hey, would you like to show up on entrysystems.com? They'd be like, whoa, entrysystems.com, never heard of you before, but that sounds like, yes, we should be there. That's how this works. That's how a great domain name works for you. Ends in 4 days, $80 currently. I'm adding it to my watch list because it does sound nice and generic, and I like that. Generic is good. Just not too generic. Although convertible cars proved that works too. Okay. Business call. Business call. I guess I'm with businesscall.com. Not really feeling it. Express deliveries. That's both a brandable and probably a generic keyword. As somebody that, I deal in transportation quite a bit, have some great transportation domain names. Sounds like not setting any records. 4 advertisers, $2 per click. So that's kind of like a C- on that, on the money wise. Keyword is weak, 55. And then we're looking express delivery. Look at that. Express delivery, 1,600 searches. You can target those, but it's that whole singular plural thing. Like you're, I don't know. Essentially, express deliveries is the plural version of express delivery. So the singular of it has 1,600 searches. Man, Panda Express must really offer some delivery. Okay. It's an okay domain name. I think it's the keyword the keyword volume that we just saw under SpyFu looks like it's mostly a kind of a dud, but I will tell you just from experience in transportation, the word express is pretty much gold. So gold tied with a logistics express deliveries. I like it. Certainly worth at least a watch list. Probably a few $100s from me if I remember to bid on it. Local hire. So what I'm doing there, as you can probably tell, saying it out loud, that is for my benefit as much as I want to hear it out loud. I want to hear the words, because realistically, if you just try to do this stuff off of reading it, you'll get tricked a lot of times. I think hire local probably is better. Local hire, it just sounds backwards. I could be mistaken, but let's see what the numbers say. No advertisers, no cost per click, 44 local hire. Let's check out hire local just to see if Drew's right. I like being right. I'm barely right. Not really right that much. At least there's some advertisers for it. I'll call that a victory. So local hire, that's kind of a near miss. And if you remember last week when I was telling you some of the ways to spend money that if you want to waste money, register every almost good enough domain name that you see. Local hire is one of those. It's one of those almost good domain names. You just don't want to. So many of these domain names that we're bypassing, that we're not even talking about, are almost good, and you could register them. I mean, for goodness sake, look over here. GoDaddy thinks that they're worth $5,000. They're not. They're close to being worth $5,000. Maybe if you're really lucky, you could find somebody that wants to spend $5,000. Now that I clicked on that, though, I noticed tactical boots that sounds pretty good. I have a feeling somebody out there was, let me just show you this also. Especially with the letter L and I, Sometimes they look the same in different searches and things. So I copied and pasted it partly just to make sure that the letters were the correct letters. It's one of those things where I think we see it with, I think, investor.com, but it's actually Levester. It's not an I, it's an L. But a lot of people bid thousands of dollars for this garbage domain name because they don't realize that it's an L, not an I. It's one of those tricks. You really have to kind of watch out for it. But I's and L's are the ones to watch for. Copy and pasting will help you with that. Protect you from yourself. For advertisers, no cost per clicks. Oh, wait, I got to actually click search. And thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Definitely make sure you like and subscribe. Boom! There we go. That's how I like to kind of wrap up and come up to the top of the hour. Tacticalboots.com. Almost missed it. Somebody, I know you were somebody out there was watching and hoping I would skip over this one, but I did not. I found it. I brought it to you. You're welcome. And you're also, I'm sorry. 4,200 searches for it. That's pretty good. Nearly double digits on the advertisers. A little low on the cost per click, but that is rather common for products. This feels like a product domain name. It feels like Tactical Boots are very specific. They're going to be something that is for a specific, very niche audience. Let's see what we got here. 4,200 searches, though. That's not bad. 511 Tactical Boots. If we do the old Control F and do Tactical Boots, we'll see that our keyword of Tactical Boots pops up everywhere. So Control F on the browser, and you can see our exact keyword, Tactical Boots, shows up for all these other keywords. Tactical Boots near me. There you go. You even get some localization. So you could do a store directory of Tactical Boots. So some good volume, great domain name. It's a product, though, so you know me. I avoid products. It's probably already above what I would bid for it. I would have definitely made sure it goes for a couple $100. I'll add it to my watch list. As always, make sure you join in the community, community.dtp.tv. That's domain to profit. Community.dtp or dtp.tv. If you're going to bid on any of these, share with the community or not, or DM me as well, because I'm a lot of times one of the guys bidding against you. But that ends in one day. It's going to end tomorrow. So get your money out if you're going to go for it. I like it. It's a good domain. It's probably worth a little bit of dough for show. Your progress, Crystal in the chat. I think we're like 43% of the way through the year. Your progress. Confident Smile. Dentists are huge. That's worth clicking on. I'm going to watch list this one. That is a marketing domain name for a dentist. Basically, you can go, I bet you there's hundreds of dentists across the United States that advertise for keyword Confident Smile. And dentists pay top dollar per click. They do a lot of advertising. So anyhow, confidentsmile.com. Going to keep moving on because I just want to get through this. English check, home and life. Guess that's for insurance. Mob up, mob is pot. Nebraska news. Okay, I'll stop reading them all out loud. I try not to do that unless it's good. Okay, I want to show you the my whatever domains I bought, but I want to try to get to this first page, so I'm trying to speed it up. It's kind of an inside joke, but I love to keep my wife, Crystal, filled in on what percentage of the year we're through. And she's saying, stop it, because I did that for her for the 43% of the way through the year. I am I'm very deliberate about how I spend my time and life. I hope you are too, but I do believe that our days are numbered. We're very blessed to have every day we have, and knowing that time is passing, I like to keep myself and others aware of 43% of the way through the year. What? Okay. Studio streams. You could probably do something with studio streams. Just like, if you have a good studio, you might as well let people rent it for their stream. Letterboards, is that a thing? It sounds like a thing. My locks, again, I love the word my. My looks so much better than your locks or something like that. Skill Tribe. How many more page downs do we have? My goodness gracious. Mint Express could be an NFT type of thing. Salute the Troops, Hamilton Tech. Wise Crypto. Okay, I just need to move on. I want to get over to... Okay, so there we go. We made it through 200 domain names. Some weeks we get through 400, 600 domain names. But lately we've only been getting to 200 because we've had so many good domain names. I highly encourage you that if you are following along with Domain to Profit, don't stop with just 200 domain names. Hopefully you will stop 2, 3, 4 pages in because you will find great domain names. I like to continue all the way to $1,600 valuations. You'll find some really good domain names. They just become spread out more. So for the sake of this live show, I like to start with the best ones on top. But yes, ultimately, we do need to, you want to continue on. Don't stop where I stop. If you're into domain names, then make sure you go ahead and do that. Let me get into, again, unexpected.com. I'll share this out. And I just realized my lighting is starting to get all washed out, but that's okay. This one is unexpected.com. I did not win the auction. That's okay. That's okay. I'll live with it. But that one is that. And let me get into, I just wanted to share that one last time because that's how we started the thing. 25,000. Anybody out there, have you ever bought a 5-figure domain name? 5-figure? Spend more on a domain name than a car? Personally, I think you're wiser to spend money on a domain name than a car. Just my opinion. I've definitely bought more domain. Yeah, a lot more. I've spent a lot more in my lifetime on domain names than I have on cars. 100%. I drive a 2005 Mazda 3. I love it. I love that freaking car. I never want it to die. It's going to be up to 200,000 miles by the time I'm done with it. Okay, here we go. I am logged into my GoDaddy account. This is live. This is real legit stuff, peeps. So I try not to hide anything from anybody. Ooh, this one's a good one. So logistician, I don't think I shared that one. I got that one last week. So single word, keyword, $2,025 is what I paid for that. I think that was a pretty good price. I think on the show I said that it was probably going to be worth $2,000 just for the sake of owning a professional keyword. The keyword stuff didn't work. It wasn't beautiful or anything like that. But hey, good domain name right in my field. As I told you earlier with express deliveries, I love anything logistics. And logistician is literally somebody that practices logistics. So $2,000, glad to have it. Purposeit.com, I got that one yesterday, not even paid for. So purposeit.com, I got that one, as I mentioned in the stream last week briefly. We own developit.com. Developit is going to be the solution to help you develop your domain names and help me develop my domain names. What should you do with your premium generic domain name? Develop it. But because I own that domain name, I thought Purposeit, it won't be for domain names, but I just like it. It sounded good. So no real reasons. See what I did not win. Well, I did not win unexpected. That was kind of expected. It was expected that I would not win unexpected. I thought it would go for more. And if I wasn't doing the live stream, I might have bid more, but I was nervous. Okay, I was nervous. Show anxiety. Auto Trade Show, I bid on that a little bit. Magic Herb, I think I was number 2 bidder on that. In fact, I pretty much guarantee I was. I think I did 205, 2005. So maybe that first person won't pay, although it's a low enough number that I'm guessing they'll pay. But magicherb.com, and I'm still bitter about Action Guide. I wanted Action Guide a lot, but I did not get it. But okay, there's some of the domain names, a little bit of a summary for you. And there we go. Let's look at some of the domains just real quick. I'll run through the domain names that we looked at. Hometutoring.com, currently 676, ends in 7 days. I'll share out my screen since I'm going to go quick. That one's over GoDaddy Auctions. 0%.com, $1,400, already over the price of what I think it's worth for development, but as an investor, it might be worth more. Artdesigner.com, a little bit of a funky domain name, 470 currently, ends in 4 days. Convertiblecars.com, possibly one of the best domain names we had come out of this. This and Tactical Boots, which we'll talk about here in a moment. That one ends in 5 days. Probably a pretty good domain name. So any car heads out there, motor heads or whatever they're called, there you go, convertiblecars.com. myaudition.com, not really sure what you would develop with it. Best I can come up with was the idea of video, headshots, and things. It's kind of a My Audition resume, something that you could send out to theater companies or something. Not my industry, so I don't know. That one ends in 2 days, currently $333. Busservice.com. I don't know what you're going to do with it. List bus services, but I don't know how you would profit from that or make money. But maybe you just want to do better than your bus company. Busservice.com, $105. Good keyword volume. So maybe a content play of some sort. Ends in 3 days. Entrysystems.com, a little bit on the technical side, but product services regarding entry to businesses, properties, houses. Entrysystems.com, great generic domain name, ends in 4 days, $80 currently. That's one that you want to hesibid. You would probably want to wait to bid on that one since it's so low still. Express Deliveries, this is more of a marketing type play. Lots of companies probably call it express delivery or they offer express deliveries. I like it from a logistical, have it on my watch list, ends in 3 days, $55. Local hire, bypassing it, did not like it. Tacticalboots.com, like I said, probably the best domain name we found today. Because it's a product, I'm not super in love with it, but I know some of you out there love developing product domain names, and this one's right up. This one's going to end tomorrow. Be ready to spend probably 4 figures for this one. I'm guessing it could be very much up to $2,000. So there you go. Tactical Boots ends tomorrow, currently $257. And then Confident Smile, that's the one I think a dentist would love to advertise. You can do this one as a directory, maybe confidentsmile.com. You only sell it to one dentist within a 100-mile radius or something, and so that way they can put it up on their billboards and stuff, and people can find them. Wouldn't go full local search like we would with a towing.com because it is more of a marketing domain name, but because dentists are local, they can put it up on their billboard. So think of it like that. Like it's up on their billboard. You see the billboards next to the road all the time. They have some garbage domain name currently. Well, confidentsmile.com would look great up there, offer some exclusivity and location. Now that domain name's making you thousands of dollars a year for a very basic redirect system. And voila, confidentsmile.com ends in 5 days over on GoDaddy Auctions. Well, there we go. There we go. Okay, well, there we go. From Pompano Beach, Florida, as the sun starts to get a little brighter, coming in a little closer to me. I think I might be getting ready to get burnt. Kidding. But I am Drew Wash's Domain to Profit. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for chatting with me, everybody out there. I very much appreciate it. Love seeing all the chat. Love seeing the interaction. And if you watch Domain to Profit and you are not doing it live, you are missing out because there's some great people in the community, which you can find them as well over community.dtp.tv. That is a lot of words. But yeah, you'll find that. And I hope that you'll join us over there. And I hope you'll see us next week, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we come back here to look through next week's expired domain names. Such a good time. Such a good time. And I am queuing up my final stuff. So thank you for joining me. See you next week. I'm Drew Wash, Domain to Profit. See you next week.